Welcome back to Decentralized News. In today's video, I want to discuss something very important. So we will be looking at the top 10 tenets for wealth building and the pursuit of financial freedom. I will also be getting into some 5 ways that you can actually build wealth with crypto and digital assets, and also why I really feel so strongly that crypto markets cap could actually become larger than most traditional asset classes by the year 2030 to 3040. So stay tuned if you're somebody who's on their wealth building journey and you want some tricks and strategies to help you along the way. This is the video for you. Don't forget to check out the links in the description and also head on over to our main site, decentralized.news. So without wasting any time, let's start with the top 10 tenets for wealth building and the pursuit of financial freedom. Right up there on number 1 is the simple fact that it's important for you to start earlier. So the earlier that you start saving and investing, the more time your money actually has to grow through compounding interest. So the power of compounding can be significantly very visible over time. So the earlier you start, the better it is for you. The number 2 tenet we're looking at today is the fact that you should always think about living below your means. This doesn't mean being cheap, but it just means that you are spending less than you are earning. Diversifying your investments sits there right at number 3, because that can also help you mitigate some risks. Investing for the long term, again, is a good way to really wealth build over a period of time that is more sustainable than trying to capture very quick gains. Minimizing fees, that is something that's quite important. So again, if you're dealing with things like traditional financial institutions or traditional brokers, you might find that the fees that you pay may be significantly larger than if you're dealing with certain assets like digital currencies, some of them, of course, where you have highly scalable networks that allow transactions to be low cost and also fees on the platforms to be minimized. So this is a very important thing if you're investing, because you want to spend the least amount on things such as fees and actually spend more on your actual investment. If we think about that, crypto has a lot to do with that in terms of why there is a need for peer-to-peer transactions, where we eliminate third parties such as traditional banking infrastructure that typically sucks out a lot of the gains from our investment. So that's another one sitting in top 5. Having a plan is number 6. That is something that you should always be very clear on what your financial goals are, where you're trying to go, and also, what your progress is. Being able to track that over time is something that comes with having a very clear plan. So that's always a strategy to take on board. Staying informed, meaning that you're always looking for that good information, that good alpha. That's why you should also subscribe to this channel and also head on over to our main site. We've got a whole host of tools and resources to help you navigate your way along your journey, especially if you're somebody who's interested in building wealth using cryptocurrencies, which is something that I'm going to get into just about now. But another thing to not forget is, on top of staying informed, is the fact that you have to maintain or have a particular discipline with the way you approach your investing. Don't always enter the market with your emotions all over the place. So discipline is important. Embracing entrepreneurship, if you're someone who's looking to actually have a path that is sustainable to wealth building and financial freedom, you have to make sure you are somewhat a risk taker to a degree, understanding those risks, of course. And you have to be somebody that likes to give back, and because that is something that I found that whether that's sharing your knowledge with others as you acquire it or as you have had experiences in certain areas, is a very good way to actually also aid your own personal development and also help you to build stronger networks around yourself. So the thing that you might be very, very interested in today is how you can actually build wealth with cryptocurrency. So I've got the top 5 ways for you to be able to do that. Number 1 would be just you investing in cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin that can potentially generate significant returns over the long term if you're looking at historical patterns. Another thing that you could get into is perhaps trading cryptocurrencies. I really like trading, especially if I'm using non-custodial platforms that, allow me to take a good amount of risk that I'm comfortable with in my own current financial situation, but also not worry about certain third-party risks, such as my funds getting lost to an exchange such as FTX. For example, if you're interested in knowing what the best cryptocurrency or Forex or a stock decentralized exchange to use, check out Gains Network or G-Trade. There's a link in the description that you can now go to check out a platform where you can do your trading in a non-custodial way, where you are the holder of your funds. You don't have to trust a third-party intermediary like a broker in order for you to secure your wealth. This is very important, especially in this digital world that we are in. Check out Gains Network, G-Trade's link in the description. Another thing that you need to do is maybe consider things such as mining cryptocurrencies. This has become a little bit harder to do now since there's a lot of specialized hardware and a lot of computing power and energy that goes into a lot of mining sometimes, but it's also another way that people do get their path to achieving success in the industry, accumulating coins through mining. Starting a crypto related business is something that I really recommend to people who have that drive, that motivation. You could become a P2P trader where you're doing arbitrage trading, selling or buying digital assets using the spreads as profit. If you identify markets where they are underserved, but you can procure Bitcoin maybe in a foreign exchange platform where it's a little bit cheaper, you supply it to another region where there aren't that many traders selling Bitcoin in P2P markets. And other ways which you could do is also become a service provider in the space. What I have been able to do for myself is to build my media company, of course, Decentralized News. But again, I do run a company called Proudly Associated, which has been in the space since 2015. We do a lot of business development, a lot of marketing for crypto companies. So you can also check that out. You can also do a whole host of things where you could do side gigs. For example, if you're a writer, you could write content. If you're a dev, you could do part-time development for a crypto project. You could do marketing, sales. Pretty much any skill that you might have could potentially be applicable in this cryptocurrency industry. So don't sleep on it. Make sure you're searching for those opportunities. If you head on over to our site, we also have a resources tab where you can find so many opportunities there. There's actually a list to all the crypto job platforms that you can also find jobs in the Web3 space. And I've also done an article on that. Check out our main site. You can also earn cryptocurrencies through other online activities. There's several ways to do this. Last year, movements like the play to earn was quite popular, where people were playing some particular games earning cryptocurrencies. There's competing or completing micro tasks or bounty programs where you're looking to solve problems in or maybe find security flows in some of these companies or platforms. You could be doing micro surveys or things like that, or just a whole host of activities that can get you, whether that's affiliate marketing, that is alerting people to some of the good platforms that are in the space that you think are credible, that you might have used, that you recommend others to use. Like I just recommended G-Trade earlier. The link is in the description. Check out Gains Trade. You can also check out GMX. You can check out a whole lot of other platforms that I recommend. There's a tab or a link to our ecosystems tab, which is also on our main site, that has all the good platforms you might be able to capitalize on just promoting and earning a little bit of passive income from people using your links to register and trade and invest on these platforms. So lastly, what I really want to get into today, guys, is why I really feel so strongly that the crypto market cap and the industry as a whole will likely succeed or supersede a lot of these other traditional asset market classes by somewhat. Looking at 2030 to 2040, this could be one of the most, or the frontier industry where a lot of wealth is going to be created. And this is going to be a multi-trillion-dollar industry. So adoption is becoming clearer that it's not going anywhere, and that exponential curve on the upside is definitely there to stay. The innovation in the crypto markets is very visible at this point in time. So there are so many solutions, whether that's in remittances, in finance, in supply chain management, and a whole host of other problems that we have. If you want to know more about this, check out the link to my book in the description, which is Blockchain Applied. It deals with different use cases of distributed ledger technologies applied across multiple industries, including retail, supply chain, even the public sector. That could be insurance, healthcare, retail, and a whole host of use cases, giving you real clear examples from companies and projects that are actually bringing these live solutions using blockchains and DLTs. So make sure you check out the link to my book. You can also check out Tokenized Trillions, which is a book that really focuses on real world asset tokenization on the blockchain. In that book, I touch specifically on real estate tokenization and equities and other assets as well. The link is in the description. Global accessibility is definitely something that cryptocurrencies do offer, and this is another reason why I feel like crypto will become a much larger industry than a lot of these traditional industries, because it is easier to reach mass global populations, especially with the new wave of mobile penetration across the globe. Also, the fact that, you know, cryptocurrencies do offer this counter narrative of either being stores of value or just currencies that enable micropayments and peer-to-peer exchange that eliminates third-party fees and brings the cost of doing business to a near zero level, just giving in that room for expansion and growth and global trade. So I feel like these are some of the things that will definitely make crypto that a big player. So let's just look at some of the things when it comes to wealth building, trading, investing in any asset class. Really, it does require, like I said, that discipline, that patience, that solid strategy being in place. And there are many benefits, of course, of doing this. So if you're doing things like probably investing or trading in cryptocurrencies, of course, the good upside of it is that there is high potential returns, but there's also significant risk. Successful crypto traders and investors have a deep understanding of the market, and they're constantly researching and analyzing data to inform their decisions. For example, somebody who knew to buy Bitcoin, let's say beginning of 2020, would have resulted in gains of over 700% just by early 2021. So these are some of the things that you need to learn in terms of finding the good projects to invest in, knowing how to not necessarily time the market, but to make market entries or to recognize opportunities when they arise. If you're somebody who's in the Forex market, for example, this is the largest and most liquid market in the world, with over 5 trillion being traded daily. Successful Forex traders use technical analysis, fundamental analysis, market psychology to inform their decisions, and so much more. For example, somebody who probably was buying the US dollar against the Japanese yen back in March 2020, at the start of the pandemic, would have resulted in gains of over 17% by March of 2021. Again, stocks is another asset class. Investing in stocks can then provide the investors with that long-term growth and dividends as well, but it does require that deep understanding of companies, their financials, and the overall markets that these stocks are tied to. So successful stock traders, in fact, they do research companies thoroughly, and they diversify their portfolios to minimize risk as well. So if you look at somebody maybe investing $10,000 in Amazon in 2001, there would have been over $2.5 million that they would have made by 2021. So that is some of the advantages of obviously trading, whether that's cryptocurrencies, that's Forex, the stocks, and just investing, wealth building, being disciplined, having solid strategies, and having deep understandings of the markets. This is what I try to help you guys with as much as I can with the little that I know. So I hope you like this type of content. Make sure you leave a comment in the description. Let me know what else you'd like me to talk about on this channel. Don't forget to head on over to our main site, Decentralised.news. Don't forget to check out all the links in the description. I really appreciate you guys. I love you, and I'll see you in the next. Peace, y'all.